Nice to have you on the show. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria, your weekly current affairs program. Well, I have in the studio very distinguished personalities who will join me to dissect the topic for today. We'll be looking at states on lockdown, matters arising. We have with us Ambassador Pastor Amos Irelogbe. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
We also have Dr. Emeka Ekura also with us today.
Thank you, Agbalaho. Thank you, viewers. Don't forget, coronavirus is real.
Okay, coronavirus is real. We must say that if you watch the opening formalities, you will discover that we are maintaining social distancing in the studio because the management of independent television and radio, very proactive, and of course, they are enhancing the social distancing rule as part of measures to preventing the spread of coronavirus as directed by the government. So we're also doing that in the studio. And for you out there, you also have your part to play. Of course, you are aware of social distancing, you are aware of personal hygiene and all of that. But we are looking at states on lockdown. Matters arising. A lot has happened. Some states are on lockdown, but we're also happy that the federal government also allowed some relief. Residents were allowed to go to the market, for some hours and all that, and that's a good one. But coronavirus has affected the economy, the lifestyle of Nigerians. Did this come to us as a surprise? We'll start with Ambassador Amos Irelogbe. Are you surprised the way this coronavirus impacted on the lifestyle of Nigerians?
Well, it depends on the perspective you are looking at it.
Okay.
You see, to some people, they are saying it's a blessing. To some, they are saying it's a curse. So that's why I said, before now, we are meant to understand by the federal government that we are all ready for this pandemic, that we are prepared. Only for us to know that we are not 100% prepared. Okay. Just like as the way they said it. You see, this lockdown is for a reason. To me, on my own opinion, I believe it is a good thing for this lockdown. Why, you might ask?
Okay.
It will enable the government, or whoever it is, when it is self-quarantine, to know if you have this disease or not. Because there are some people, at the way they told us, that it does not show immediately.
Okay.
For example, the person that brought it, the index case that brought it, and he must have contacted so many people.
Yeah.
And in the process of that, give either a handshake or one help or the other, one favor or the other, and that person now leaves. Before that person gets to his or her own destination, he must have also encountered so many other people on the way.
Yeah.
And without, at that time, the test is not carried out. He doesn't know if it's positive or if it is negative. So he might meet one or two persons. Oh, my friend, oh, my this, oh, you just came back, how are you doing? So this lockdown within these 14 days, to me, I believe it is a good thing so that after these 14 days, we'll be able to know who has it and who don't. Because these symptoms, according to what the medical experts have said, will show forth after 14 days. Yeah. So if after these 14 first days, it did not show up, then you know, thank God, we are free. Okay. And it's also, it's for us to obey rules and regulations. Because some of us, Nigerians, let me not exempt myself now, let's just generalize everything now. Yes. They'll say, I'm a black man, this disease is not a catch black man. We have strong, we are this. But by the time we obey rules and regulations, by the time we now say, let's watch it first, because it is not written on the forehead, as we might understand. Yes. And again, we might understand that not every sneezing or every cough or every flu that is this
coronavirus.
Yes, because before this thing came, most of us have this cough, catarrh, all the symptoms before now. But we made to understand that there are some stages and level of what they call it before you know that you have this
level of sneezing. Level of sneezing.
Thank you very much. So that is why we must adhere to strict instruction to what they are saying. Self-distancing, wash your hand, sanitize your hand, and we made to understand there are some other fake products that are on ground.
Okay.
People are using this opportunity to either hike their price or commit one or two other things. It is inhuman, and it's right for us to look at this thing critically.
Yes.
That you should not take advantage of situation. Because of this, maybe what you had before, you now can record the price. You say, I don't know what tomorrow will bring, and I don't know where we are going from here. Maybe the end of the world has come. No. I could remember in some social medias which people said we should not hold them too liable for it.
Yeah.
They are saying the Chinese that brought this virus, this disease, they've tried all they could, and now they are now looking up to God. That it's high time for God to come up and come to our rescue. And to me, it's high time for us to draw closer to God, and so that God, in His infinite mercy, will heal our land. Because there's no situation, no disease, no affliction that is too much that God cannot heal.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to you. You have actually expressed your worries, and of course, you've looked at the benefits of the lockdown. So many Nigerians actually expected the president to have come out before that day to address the nation in terms of the coronavirus situation. And the president lived up to expectation with the lockdown of Lagos State, the FCT, Ogun State, because the cases in Nigeria, you will agree with me that Lagos, dominates the scene, followed by the FCT, and Lagos and Ogun, the proximity of the two states. So the president was in order, but many persons thought he should have even done it before now. Dr. Kuga, do you think the president should have locked down the states before that broadcast?
Well, let me quickly react to some people saying it's good, it's not good.
Okay.
Whether you believe it or yes, coronavirus is a sickness.
Okay.
It's not good for us.
Okay.
It's not good for anybody.
But I think he's talking in literary form.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
So, and secondly, for the president to lock down FCT, lock down Lagos, lock down Ogun, based on the numbers of confirmed cases.
Yeah.
One of the benefits is that it will, stop much of the spread of the virus to other areas. But there is something that I felt should have been put in place before lockdown. To so many people, it took them unaware. It is a surprise. And if there is not measures put in place and you lock down, people don't go out, people don't come in, you even hardly you leave your house. If you go to the markets, even when the markets are there, you come in contact with gathering of not less than 50s up, hundreds. If you go to the market, even here in Benin, if you go to some markets, unfortunately, you will wonder if people even use their common sense. No distance, no measures taken. You don't wash your hand there. Nothing is being put in place. Now, locking down FCT, what are the things you make available for people? The sanitizers, do they have it? Whatever that's supposed to be in place for them to be comfortable and to relax, do they have it? You create a kind of fear in the life of people that they find it difficult to even, when you have a cough, if you cough, you're in trouble. You can't sneeze like my...
Is it like what
my friend just said here?
Even what Mr. Amos said.
Honestly speaking,
there are levels of sneezing.
There are levels of sneezing. If you, anywhere you are, if you make mistake and sneeze, and somebody's a kind of seeing you as a suspect. So what measures have you put in place? I am not totally in support that would have been a total shutdown.
Okay.
I'm not fully in support of that. Because if we, inform people, and definitely you see people begin to follow rules. Issue of this nature, you don't even need to use your hand for people to obey. Because if they tell you distance yourself, and you know it is real, you're going to do it for your own good.
Yeah.
If I ask you to wash your hand, and you agree with me that coronavirus is real, it is for your good. So by the time you shot somebody in the house, it's like a house arrest. And you wouldn't mind, you don't know whether the person is eating, you don't know whether the person is not eating. There are people who don't have ATM card. Somebody told me that banks kind of shut down for 14 days too, or something like that. If there are banks working in there, or just working in a skeletal measures, and you either use the ATM. It's not everyone that has ATM card, and they know the fraud ATM has cost. So many people don't use ATM card. How would they be able to get money? And definitely, it's not everyone that even has money in the bank. It's not everybody. If you have said, okay, distance yourself, take some measures, watch yourself. If you have this kind of signs, visit the centers that are, assigned for these monitoring measures. I think it would have been better. If this shutdown continue after next week, I tell you, the rate of deaths in Nigeria will be worse than that of coronavirus. Thank God we've not been recording deaths. They said 2. I wouldn't say here in ITV that it was coronavirus that killed the 2 people in Nigeria. I wouldn't say here because I don't have a total confirmation of that. But what we heard from NCDC is 2 deaths confirmed. Then they spread all over. And let me still say this before, let me digress a little bit. This was not a surprise to me. If you ask some of the people close to me, they will confirm. On crossover night, I told my people, I said we're going to witness a disease we've not heard about before in 2020. And
okay, you're talking about prophecy?
Yeah, and we prayed about it.
We don't allow prophecy on this show.
We prayed about it.
Yes.
I'm trying to bring something out. We prayed about it. And I think what will save Nigerians more is still going to boil down on prayers. I would have expected Mr. President call the leaders of different ministries or whatever, those who trust and believe in God, invite them. He knows many of them. And they distance themselves, like when they are in a meeting today.
The vice president is a pastor.
Good, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you invite most of these people and say, first and foremost, look at what is coming and look at what is other words are witnessing. Now we are already witnessing it in Nigeria. Even if he didn't act at the very first instance, it was a mistake. Even if he didn't act at the first instance. And he called him and said, come, let's pray to our God. I believe it will go a very long way. It's still not yet late. It's still not yet late. Because if what happened in Europe, in Italy, in America, in China is even better now, in some of the other countries, begin to happen in Nigeria, it is going to be a disaster.
But that's why the government is doing everything possible to put measures in place to checkmate possible.
Yeah. The government is doing everything possible. I commend the efforts of governments. Talking, publicizing it, trying to make sure they educate people.
Yes.
I think this is one of the areas they are doing marvelously well.
Okay.
But when you tell me government is doing everything possible to make sure the spread of coronavirus is not much, I will tell you, what are the kits? How many kits has arrived this country and it has been, distributed to rightful centers and people are having them? He made a statement where I overheard my colleague said even fake sanitizer is in circulation. And you also see people, the nose
mask,
nose masks and whatever mouth. Some are being contaminated. Even some people can even contact one disease, one sickness or the other through that.
Okay,
So,
Dr. Kuka, we're going to come back to
Okay.
you. But I need to quickly inform our viewer that the federal government has been sensitizing citizens, residents about coronavirus, how it can be prevented. And the issue of personal hygiene has been emphasized. The issue of social distance, about 3 meters, apart from another person. The issue of when coughing or sneezing, you use maybe disposable tissue, or if you don't have that readily available, you use your hand like this. Your elbow like this, So I think the government has been doing that, and it is important that we also understand that these are some of the measures. But Dr. Kuga is a man of God, and so he has also said the issue of prayers, very important. You don't expect anything outside that from him. But I must say that the different religious adherents, they know what to do. You don't need government to tell you to pray. Okay, so we'll come back to you, Doctor. But let's get the thought of Ambassador Amos Arelogbe. Yeah. Now, the lockdown, you have already said yes, it will help to keep people at home so that within the 14 days incubation period, maybe those who have it would manifest, symptoms could manifest, and all that. But what do you think citizens should do now within this lockdown period?
Oh, thank you. Before I come to what the citizens will do,
okay,
let me talk about what he just wrote, like what I was praying for later on, that what the government should have done before the lockdown, there should have been measures put in place. There should have been measures put in place, because if you are going to stay at home, it's not going to be easy. Because it's like house arrest. You are home, you don't have food at home, then you cannot, it's not possible for you to stay in one place. Unlike what I saw on social media about a man that has a pregnant wife, went out to look for food, only to be beaten up by one of the security agents, the police. Which there should be enough sensitization.
That it disobeyed the restriction of movement order, the sit-at-home order.
Yes. Somebody whose wife is in labor and he needs food to eat.
But he can explain himself. Though we don't have evidence of what you're talking about.
I have.
But however,
I think the video clip.
The security agents will always listen. Don't you think so?
See, there's something we do in this Nigeria. Our security agents need to go to more training again, and they should add a little bit civil. Not everything is always with force. At least a case like this, a time like this, you're surprised after the beating, it will not be worse than the coronavirus. There are things you should put in place before now. There are things you should say, no, this is what we must get in place, like food. Make sure this food are there. Somebody was telling me there's this money going in circulation. How do we get data of those that are to receive this money? Some are saying through BVN, to go to bank. There are some people who don't have bank accounts. There are some people who don't have these BVN numbers. Then how do you allocate money to such a one?
Yeah, but let me quickly interject again. The Edo State government, the Edo State governor has refuted that report that the state government ordered the residents to give out bank account and names. The governor said nothing like that. The governor has refuted that. Okay. But the federal government, we understand that there are palliatives from the federal government. Federal government intend to cushion the effects of the sit-at-home order, the effect of this coronavirus on Nigerians. And I think they will evolve ideas of doing that. Don't you think so?
Like some people are saying, there are some individuals or corporate bodies who have donated money, billions into it. How is it going to be shared?
The money is not to be shared.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's to fight coronavirus.
How do you fight coronavirus?
How will the money be used to fight coronavirus?
No, because some are saying that
manufacturing kits or importing kits.
It's left for government to do that, or those in charge. There's a task force, presidential task force.
See, my brother,
on COVID-19.
There are things we should do. What I expect, for me or my own opinion, is the basic amenities that we need. Now, you asking somebody to stay at home, there's no light. In the heat, how will he stay? It's not comfortable. What we expect, like what the developed countries are doing, that they give the citizen light, all these utilities, they have it. For now, it should be free. Make sure everybody your home is comfortable. Then even the food, there are sometimes that they take this food relief materials to the doorsteps of
Lagos State government has started that. They give food to people.
How many can they get? How many will it go around? This thing ought to be checked. These are things we have to do. Like now, in my area, we have been staying for some. I bought Jane. I don't have light. NEPA ought to have given us light, but they don't. I bought Jane every day. Why? To stay indoors. So these are things, some measures the government have to put in place before it asks anybody to stay at home. And if you are giving these relief materials, they are giving this and that, you must be able to capture the people list. This is high time for us to know the statistics of everybody in your locality. This high time, even the local government council, the councillors, in place of quarantining your area, map and take statistics of who, capture the residents of people there, so that when such thing, we don't pray to fall into this predicament again. You can know 20 people live in this environment, so I need 20 relief materials for these people. By the time you do this, you now capture your people, your area, know who are in your areas, and you give to this. Then there are some people who are in the hospital too. You also know, make provisions for them. And I've made to understand that, I don't know, doctor can be corrected, that even these health workers, most of them don't have these kits.
No kits
to and they are the front line. Now, how do you expect them to work? How do you expect them to work without gloves, without even this nose mask we are talking about? They don't have it, and you ask them to go to work. These are things that we should check very well. And again, these vaccines. Now,
there are no vaccines for coronavirus.
Okay.
Some people are saying that I don't want to mention the name now, that it cures this, it cures this, and some are saying these are our traditional medical practitioners. They have these remedies. To me, I believe whatever we have.
Before you continue, let me quickly interject. Yes, I think what Amos Arelogwe is talking about, there are rumors, but don't forget that the federal government has sternly cautioned against fake news, against spreading of rumors. Now, you need to assess the right media to get the authentic information, not just on all platforms of social media. There are some persons who tell you that there are some herbs that can cure coronavirus. There is nothing like that. So do not listen to things that are not being authenticated by the appropriate authorities, the appropriate organs of government. So must quickly make that very clear. That's what he's trying to say, that the rumor is spreading that they have this herb. There's nothing like that. Coronavirus, no vaccine yet. It has not been developed. No vaccine has been developed. No medicine. But government is saying there are measures that can be taken to prevent the spread. And we have itemized that on the program. So we need to make that very clear.
Well, Aglavo,
yes, okay.
Let me add to what Ambassador just said here. Viewers, of course, you've known there is no vaccine yet discovered for coronavirus, not even chloroquine. Anybody who has tested positive and later tested negative, it is only the medical personnel, the doctors, that can be able to say this is what and what the measures that was used.
Administered.
The minister.
Administered, the treatment administered or whatever.
The treatment that was administered. Yes. And I think I want to say coronavirus is not bigger than God again. I still want to maintain this. Hence, it has no vaccine yet. It has no medicine. And they are confirmed. And today, by the grace of God, our people are still safe. They are still alive. They will still remain alive. We will still stick to God. And in addition to what Ambassador said regarding to what is expected of federal government, it is very simple. How do they share NEPA bill and it gets to everybody?
Okay.
There are measures put in place. Anywhere you are, no matter how remote the place you are, a NEPA official must meet you there, give you NEPA bill. Whether estimated NEPA bill or original NEPA bill, you pay. Is that not true? There are other things. If government want to collect tax, levy, you can't tell them, they won't know the number of the shops or where the markets are. You can't tell me that. And another thing, if one commits crime, no matter where you hide, if police want to walk, anywhere you like you hide, they will get you right there you are.
And bring you out, fish you out. Yes.
So if federal government really don't want to play politics with...
The federal government is not playing politics.
I am coming, I didn't say they are.
Okay.
Don't quote me. I said if they don't want to play politics with COVID-19, they should be able to find a very relaxed and appropriate measure to reach everybody. If you can't pay into somebody's account, of course, let the people that has been in the field go house to house, I think they will be able to meet people.
So you are talking about in terms of palliative now, to cushion the effect of this sit-at-home order.
Yes, because even the money that was donated by individuals, I am sure it is real that there are some big weights in Nigeria that donated billions. Banks, I see some pastors, some donate materials,
medical equipment.
I saw the wife of Pastor Izzy Yamu, was it yesterday or thereabout, giving out food items.
There are so many people. There are so many people. Yeah, we don't want names to be mentioned here.
Okay,
there are so many people who have been assisting government.
No problem about that. So there is measures they can put in place that will get everybody. Those money donated is not just meant for those inside isolation centers.
Okay.
Because if you go to isolation centers, I'm sure in Benin, confirmed case is only about 3 or 4.
4, according to what they said.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Then one, like our speaker, has already tested negative. So it should be 3. And you can imagine how many isolation centers.
We are waiting for the appropriate organ of government
to say so,
to make it public.
Fine.
Yeah, it's not for us to say.
Fine, but I'm telling you what I've heard.
Yes.
If government said it's not true, they should stand up and say it's true or it's not true.
Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, will always give us daily updates. 2 cases in Edo yesterday.
Good.
And cases in other states just like that.
It is NDC.
That is the one reported.
What about the ones not reported?
No, we must wait for the
We
appropriate
will wait until 14 days to know.
Report.
But I am sure those in isolation centers are not 2% to those at home.
Okay.
I didn't say 10%, 2% to those at home.
Because there are fewer people in isolation centers. That's what you're talking about.
Good.
Okay.
So if both in Lagos we have how many? They are not up to 50 in Lagos. So all those billions, where did you channel it to? And people are dying. People are almost started dying of hunger in their houses. Stay at home. So
don't you think it's too early? Is the lockdown not too early for you to talk about people already suffering from starvation?
My brother, because you are able to
no, it's not about it's not about
there are people
in Edo. There's no lockdown in Edo.
There are people we are not talking only Edo here.
Yes.
This is international.
Yeah, I understand. But
there are people in Lagos, the only way they eat is the hawk.
Okay.
I hope
you're talking about daily income earners.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Federal government workers, their salaries has been paid off front. So many of them. I stand to be corrected.
No, it's monthly. They pay them monthly.
State government, state governors, with this also, they are making sure that workers of the state are also being, settled. But let's come back home to those who are struggling every day
on their own.
There are some people, if they don't struggle, even in a day they didn't sell a little amount of money, that day they won't eat. It's starvation. How much more when they are sitting at home? Those money donated, those materials donated, let proper measures be put in place so that these people will not die of starvation. Somebody who is not fasting, no matter the religion he belongs, and nothing is in your stomach, you will carry stomach ulcer.
That is starvation.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, you are making sense.
Good.
You put it in the right perspective now.
Good. So, federal government should do everything possible to make sure citizens are being taken care of. If we stay more than 14 days, something is going to be very, very wrong and bad.
Okay,
sorry. Now, let me add to what you just said.
When
we're talking about these relief materials, when we're talking about these people bringing things, it's for this purpose. It's for people not to die of starvation.
Yes.
Because I believe whenever relief materials have been issued out, it's for the people, the citizenry, not for the government. It goes down to direct people who are affecting it. For example, now, we're talking about essential people to go out to work. What about those barbers who depend daily on it? And you ask them to stay at home. They don't have some of them don't have bank accounts. How do you expect them to cope? You get me now? Then what about the drivers?
They're not on social duty. All they own is transportation. And now you're asking them to stay at home. How will they survive? They have a permanent housewife, the children at home to feed and all. So how will they survive?
And children eat more now.
In short, biscuit and indomie every day. Because
they
are
more
home.
Now. They are home.
You get me now? Let me not.
But don't you think this? Let me quickly just bring that in.
Okay.
Because Dr. Emeka has just brought that to the fore. Don't you think this lockdown has enhanced family reunion?
Of course.
There's family reunion now.
Was that what the good part of it was?
Yeah,
let me come in.
And I understand that the women, wives,
so
are so happy to have their husbands at home.
Yeah. It has aftermath effects. After 9 months, if care is not taken, maternity ward will be filled up.
It's a good one, but get this clear.
Now you see the good part of it.
Yes, stay at home has also humbled so many of us.
Okay.
You can imagine, no matter how many billions you have, no matter how many private jets you have, stay at home order has helped everybody to realize that you are important. Everybody is important. You need me, and I need you. Huh? You can't just fly your private jet now. Everybody, some people are here suffering. You are in London taking ordinary leave. That is, how do you put it?
Vacation.
Vacation. Even when there is no vacation, you want.
So coronavirus has made everybody to stay in Nigeria.
You want to do shopping. The next thing you are in Dubai. The next thing you are in Europe. You are in UK. But this time around, coronavirus has put you, whether you're a politician, whether you are a non-politician, you are a government staff, you're not a government staff, you're a businessman, you're not a businessman, it has humbled everybody. Sit in your house. And come back to what my brother just said about the security aspect of it. I want to encourage our security personnel to be human. Honestly speaking, in civilized countries, if you watch security personnel, you will like to be either a police or an army. Are you getting me? You will like to join. But in this part of our country, very unfortunate, power has become something nobody wants to even.
Okay, I think the security personnel, they are watching and they will understand that they are being advised to be very friendly with citizens and residents. Because in Lagos, we saw what happened. The Nigerian Medical Association needed to address the press that they were not comfortable with Mr. Odumosun, Mr. Akim, the CP of Lagos, who, in addition, when he sees people need to ask for letters from the organization before they are allowed to move in Lagos. There was a press briefing by the NMA who actually advised against that. But Mr. Kim, the CP of Lagos, is also doing his job, wanting to be sure that only those who are on essential duties, move freely within Lagos. So you must understand the police situation. But let's quickly talk about the effect of coronavirus. Coronavirus and Edo 2020 election. Before we open our lines, don't forget our lines: 052-290-573. We'll quickly look at that. Now, I go straight to the point. Dr. Emeka Ekuga, should the Edo State governorship election be postponed because of this coronavirus? Should all campaign activities, primaries or whatever, be postponed? Or you think they should still go ahead, maybe discreetly?
Well, it depends on how the coronavirus issues escalate.
Okay.
Like in Edo State, we don't have much issue.
Okay.
But you can imagine that the sports festival was also postponed because of coronavirus. We are talking about life here. If coronavirus, God forbid, comes into a state like this, like Edo State, like how it was in the European parts, and the people start dying as a result.
God forbid.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Who will do the voting? So if you ask me, the government know the best. And it is the same people you are governing that is going to move ahead with this campaign. You cannot do a campaign where there is less than 20 gathering. And the state government has given an order that there should be no gathering more than 20. And a few days ago, I saw the CAN president CAN chairman came on air that all the churches to be closed. And why did you close churches? Because you don't want spread of coronavirus. Yeah. I wouldn't comment on that yet here because it boils my spirit.
I understand.
Good. Then, and they want to approve campaigning in this situation. If you go house to campaign, of course, you can also go house to give people food. And there is something again I also want to say. You know, I told you it won't be good we politicalize this COVID-19 just because of election. Yeah. This is when you see politicians begin to distribute food items to women and villages and whatever. It is not ideal.
Okay.
I advise the state government, I mean the INEC, not even state government this time around, INEC, if they didn't shut down too, they should also shut down, because federal government ask every whatever, even the shut Aso Rock, they shut down Aso Rock. So why won't INEC shut down? If INEC shut down, we will conduct election.
Okay. Well, let's quickly get...
as for me, there's still time for the election.
Okay.
So it's not something we should shut down now.
Okay.
We were looking at primaries to start taking from June.
Yeah, June.
First week of June and all and all.
Okay.
As far as there's still time, which I believe that before the end of this
month, everything about coronavirus
will die naturally. I believe that.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because that's what we've been praying. Because definitely it cannot stand. Because there's nothing that God cannot do.
Yeah.
You know, I remember that when we were discussing, I said, this is hard time the church have to come up. This is hard time because we've seen programs where they call about come for healings. People come to church and receive their healing because the church is where people get their healing. This hard time, the government should have said, oh, now church, what do we do? Even if you cannot gather people together, start praying the word, say the word, because there's no distance with God.
Faith commits.
One thing I understand is this: when people sick, we've heard testimonies where people come to church having devil sickness. When they come to church, as soon as the laying of hands and all they get healing.
But we cannot authenticate that, because this program we don't allow issues of miracles and all that. But I know the point my guests they are making. We make supplications to God, yes, but we don't allow issues of miracles, you know, being said on the program. But I know that the viewer understands.
Sorry, I'm not trying to interject.
Yes.
The truth remains. You just give a little light.
Yes.
Election is still months to come. And I believe the situation now handles everything.
Okay.
If you want to campaign, which of the market will you go to campaign? Which of the school field will you...
But it's not time for campaign yet anyway.
Good. So
yes.
The issue of postponing election, the time will handle itself.
Okay.
I think that is right.
Okay, now we are going to allow our viewer out there, residents, those watching the program, wherever you are, to call in. The number again is 052-290-50. Okay, we have a caller. Caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please just introduce yourself and make your comment.
Okay, I am Steven. I'm calling from Airport Road.
Go on.
Okay. I want to really speak on the concerning the people that are in the correctional center.
Okay.
Because ever since we have been hearing about how politicians are protecting their people, and they are trying to see how they can at least make Nigeria better. But at least what about the people that are in the correctional center? People are in there languishing, so nobody is even talking about them, and it's not fair.
Okay, thank you very much. We just got a caller there, Stephen, and Stephen said that his own concern has to do with people in the correctional center. Now, correctional center used to be known as prisons, Nigerian prisons. Now, Nigerian Correctional facilities. So I hope you understand. He's also saying that what is being done about the inmates, about people in these correctional facilities, they also need assistance. Okay, we have another caller. Caller, please introduce yourself. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. Now, Stephen, okay, good afternoon. Please introduce yourself and make your comment. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, introduce yourself and make your comment.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, Lagos. Caller from Lagos. What's your name?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi who?
Ifeanyi.
Make your comment.
Go ahead.
Okay, we just lost that caller all the way from Lagos. They are watching this program, and Ifeanyi wanted to make, but we hope to get him back. You can call in. The number again is 052-290-573. Want to be part of the program? Yes, we have a caller. Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself and make your comment. Okay, we're having problems with that caller. Well, we must comment on what Stephen said. Stephen said those in the correctional facilities. Gentlemen, let's start with Ambassador Amos.
Yes, they are human beings actually.
Okay.
But I don't believe they are already exposed to this threat now. But they should also be cared for. They should look into their matter seriously too.
Okay.
Because there are some innocent ones who are there, which are meant to understand. It's not every this thing that is every what they call it, criminals or all that are dead. But
that's why they are taken to court.
Yes.
And the courts will now make final
and
verdict.
some of them are remanded too.
Okay.
So one thing must understand that they are also human beings. They should look into their affairs too.
Okay, thank you.
Very clear.
Dr. Meka,
I want to appreciate Mr. Stephen.
Okay.
Honestly, sometimes our mind don't go there.
Yeah.
It's important he has reminded us. Those in this angle, right, they are already in isolation. They don't come out, but people that take care of them comes out. That is the truth.
Okay.
And when we talk about contacting coronavirus, you discover when you have in contact with somebody who is already infected with coronavirus. And how would you know? It's not written. So I'm of opinion also, I'm in support that government should also look inward.
Okay, look at the correctional facilities.
Yes, they should also be taken care of. Of course, I know there are some medical personnel working there too.
Okay.
They should pay closer attention to them.
To their welfare.
To their welfares. Even this time is a very good time. I still challenge the politicians. I still challenge them.
It's not only politicians, kind-hearted Nigerians.
Yes. Just like money are being donated for coronavirus. Those who are well-to-do and you know what I mean, they should also look inward to assist those, because there are so many of them there that are innocent. You know, until you are being convicted, you are a suspect. So let them also look in that aspect. Is an important one.
It's a good one. We thank Mr. Stephen. I hope you are still with us watching the program. Your call, your comment, very, very vital contribution to this program. And I know that government officials, they are watching this program, and they will also take appropriate steps to ensure that the welfare of inmates are also enhanced, and of course the inmates are also protected, and I know they will surely do that. Well, gentlemen, your closing remarks. It's not all about coronavirus. There are also things to share about. When you are indoors, there are a lot of things you can do with your family, with your children. And like I said, the women are happy to have their husbands at home. They can tell you where their husband, they can tell you my husband is watching social program now. Unlike before, they may not be too sure of the whereabouts of their husband. So these are some of the fallouts of coronavirus. And you can see that Ambassador Pastor Amos Alologbe celebrated his birthday. He told us here, so we say congratulations on your birthday. There are a lot of things to celebrate. Coronavirus is not a death sentence.
No.
There's still life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be dejected. Don't allow depression. Don't allow fear. Just have an open mind. Obey government directive. There are measures to be taken, precautionary measures. Adhere to them. Adhere to the precautionary measures so that you can be safe. Okay, so your closing remarks.
Fellow
Dr.
Nigerians, I want to encourage you not to allow fear to take over you. Believe that God has made you to live, and coronavirus cannot take away your life. Only be careful. Wash your hand regular. Sanitize your hand if you have any hand sanitizer. Give a distance. If you want to shake who you don't trust.
I think we are going to do that. The PD should allow us to do that. Yeah, that's the handshake now.
Shake who
something
you
like this.
Who you
so
don't
no
know.
more handshake
Who you don't
and
know
no
like
hugging.
This. No more
and you can greet like this too.
You can also greet like
this.
this.
Another one. You can greet like this. You know, so fallouts of coronavirus. Now we have unique ways of greetings now. Not only hugging, not only shaking on the hand.
No kissing anymore.
No. Oh, I can't say. Only medical doctors.
You can only kiss your wife.
Only medical doctors can talk on that. Gentlemen, thanks for being a part of today's show.
Thank you.
I hope as you are there, you've enjoyed today's edition of the program. 60 Minutes Nigeria. Keep a date with me. God willing, next week we'll be here again to look at other issues. Until then, thank you and bye-bye.